I got to go out into the world and look for fun vintage things, and I cannot even begin to tell you how happy that made me. Before today, the last time I had been in a thrift shop was March 6th, just before things started getting a little crazy in our neck of the woods, and the boys and I decided we better stay home and stop roaming so much. So I am so glad life is getting back to normal. We're in a rural area with comparatively few cases, so while the shop was closed, they have moved everything. The craft section used to be in the very back of the store, and now it's up front, which I think is long term going to be a good thing since it's not as crowded as it was before. There was nobody else looking in this section of the shop while I was there. I looked at this candle making kit and I thought about circling back to it, but then forgot. If it had its contents, it would be a great project to work on. But of course they're taped shut and you can't tell what you're buying. For $2.50, I think was the price. It wouldn't have been a bad gamble, but apparently I didn't really want it that badly if I forgot to go back and look for it. Or that is the story I'm going to keep telling myself. I was a little on the fence about whether I wanted to see if the shops were open or not. Our county entered phase 1 today of getting back to normal, and the shops were not, they were busy, the parking lots were full, but it wasn't crowded at all, and I was able to stay way 10, 20 feet away from other people almost the entire time I was in there. Of course, my last video, I was at Teen Challenge sitting on the floor digging through cross-stitch magazines. Times have changed. The arrows are going to take some getting used to. This little bookshelf is by far our best find of the day. Someone had decoupaged pictures and magazine clippings and old advertising onto it. And we'd seen a few coffee tables over the years with people's like wish boards on them. This was really well done. And you see Batman and the Munsters and Julie Newmar, the original Catwoman, or did Eartha Kitt come first? One of the old Catwomans. It is just neat. There is no other word for it, and it seemed really well done. The decoupage was holding everything down, and that did come home with us because my son decided that he could not live without it. And I'm supposed to tell you that he bought it with his own money, although I have no idea why that's relevant. I wouldn't have bought it for $30 because I see something like that, and my first thought is I could find a piece of furniture and make my own. The trunk would have usually drawn our attention, but we were too busy looking at the gorgeous little bookcase. Cornucopias. Didn't see those when I was originally in the store, but they're always there. Norman Rockwell plates. I cannot wait for things to open up enough that we have estate sales and I can start looking for some of these on Sunday 50% off just to get it out of our life pricing. I've told you before, I love the stories these tell. And I am just going to keep being drawn to them, which is fine. Getting out and looking at things I have absolutely no intention of buying is one of the most fun parts of thrifting. Is it that way for you too? Are those little Currier and Ives plates I've looked at so many times? I don't know if this burlap doll spoon holder thing was here months ago or if that is the second one. Last year before my daughter got married, I was looking for the tackiest wedding decor ever, and that bride and groom has got to win the prize for the craziest. Love the old oil lamps. Wish they had their chimneys, but of course if they had their chimneys, the price would reflect that, and we use them in power outages, but I probably have as many of those as I need. And I was walking past the bags, and wouldn't that make a super cute knitting or project bag? I like it, but I left it there for the next person to fall in love with. There's a little flock of wicker geese and some baskets I didn't notice as I was walking by them. These flat baskets caught my attention, and I think they'd be great for like holding the pieces of a project in, especially since they could stack like that. I resisted temptation and did not even look at the price. I was being so good. And none of my years in youth group prepared me to know what is going on in that picture. If you know what makes that make sense, let me know because I'm confused. It was a fun day for browsing. There really wasn't anything I saw that I desperately needed to bring home with me. The bookshelf was a neat find, and I'm glad that my son was able to pick it up since he loves it deeply. I have images of my sewing room redone with all of my things stored in neat old tins. And I could possibly make that happen. That would require cleaning out the sewing room, and that is on my to-do list. Love that mug, would love to know the story behind that mug. Someone made it. It's not, I don't think it's mass produced. I also have no idea what that shark is, but it's big and obnoxious and must have served some purpose in someone's life. This candy dish said budget's best, and then I can't read the year, but there was a year below that. I don't know what that was. And I feel like I'm missing something. So if you know what I'm missing, fill me in. They did have one bag with cross-stitch stuff on the top. I am willing to bet most of the rest of what is in there is not cross-stitch. And I peeked just enough to see if I could like catch the edge of a dimensions kit or something I couldn't live without, but didn't see anything. These single color displays always suck me in and make me think things like that I want a shiny cut glass red bottle. I don't need one. I'm going to keep reminding myself. This little dog was a vintage flower vase with "Get Well Soon" on his chest, and he's so cute. Someone in my childhood had an elephant like that with a glass table on him. I want to say that it is silver, and I don't know if I am imagining that or making it up. And I know from experience, probably if I call an older family member and ask who had it or where, they will have no idea what I am talking about. So I'll just wonder quietly here on my own. Thank you so much for watching. I am Michelle's from Michelle's Romantic Tangle. I am so happy the thrift stores and the rest of the world are starting to open up again. And if things stay good, I'll be back with more thrifting videos very, very soon.